All right, we did already post a video today, just regarding the Optic and Ghosty and Hook situation, them being dropped. But we had more stuff come out. I also have a tinfoil hat theory that I'd like to just put out there as more of this news comes out. So I was thinking about it. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna make a new video. The Florida Mutineers did tweet out that they are dropping their entire roster or not, basically not extending them. And Vickle will be kind of their guy moving into next season. We also have Minnesota Rocker tweeting out that they are not going to be extending any of their players. And then we reported on the Toronto Ultra situation. There was rumors that came out that they were looking for buyouts for their players, and Scrap was going to be surrounded by 2 to 3 rookies. At least that was the rumors. They did come back and say that they aren't going through. There are more rumors saying that they aren't going through financial issues. So no idea what's going on with all of this. And then today they did say goodbye to Hixie, who had a pretty phenomenal year, I would say. So just kind of as all of this stuff goes out, a lot of people have been talking about like roster mania is going to be crazy this year. And it really is. You see a lot of teams that are just literally dropping their entire team and just kind of starting over. So, my tinfoil hat theory here that I would just like to put out there is that I'm kind of wondering now that we've been in this franchise league, next year will be year 5. So, we've had almost half a decade here within this league. The speculation has been that these teams, just to be a part of the league, had to pay upwards of like 15 million just to even be a part of the league, and that's not even including roster. What you're paying your roster, what you're paying your analyst, what you're paying your coach, as well as facilities. If you are going that route, um, just a lot of money being thrown at this thing, and I think these teams obviously knew that they weren't going to make it back within the 5 years or anything like that. But I'm just wondering if these teams are saying, hey, we kind of entered in this situation. We thought that money was going to be at least starting to come at this point. We're paying these players all this money. The league minimum is going up next year to, I think, $58,000, which I've heard kind of like these lower tier teams, that's kind of around what they're getting. But you also have guys that have been in the league for a while, or have been in the Call of Duty scene for a while, that I'm sure they're getting upwards of 100K. I would say probably on average you're probably looking at around 100K is kind of where the average is within the league. I don't know any of that to be true, but let's just say still all of these players are getting paid around 100K or 60K, whatever you choose to believe, right? And you have these lower tier teams that haven't been performing all that well, and you start to look at the league, and I think with Scump retiring, and doing the watch parties and everything, you have like the flank with Zuma. Like, I think the community is getting bigger. I think especially with Scump retiring and doing watch parties, since he's not playing, I think it gives a boost to viewership if Optic doesn't make it to Sunday or deep into tournaments, because you still have that force of Scump doing watch parties and being a part of all the games and not just Optics. So I do think that the community has grown, but there's just been a lot of talks like they're finding it hard to like, how do we make money? And as I stated, like, we're going into year 5. I'm just wondering if a lot of these teams are saying, hey, we can't pay these players the amount of money that we have been paying them. Let's go ahead and drop all of them. Maybe we keep one guy or find one guy to then build around. And I think with the recent success that you've seen with a lot of the rookies, these Call of Duty games don't have much of a skill gap. So I think, you've seen the success that a guy like Dan Ghosty had coming out of Challengers and being in there. I know Snoopy only played in Champs, but he seemed to be a guy that is going to be a staple within this league. I think you see Scrappy, who wins Rookie of the Year and then also places second at Champs, being one of the best ARs in the game already. Like, you're starting to see a lot of these young guys come up, and they're just there to try to get an opportunity. So my tinfoil hat theory is just wondering, like, all of these teams getting a little fed up and saying, "Hey, we don't need to pay all of these guys all this money when we're not getting results, and we can go dip into challengers and get 2 to 3 rookies, maybe put them around a guy that's a veteran, and kind of move forward like that." I don't think Florida Mutineers, with the way that they played last year, if they put 2 to 3 rookies on this team and surround him by Vickle, I don't think their outcome really changes all that much. So if the organization is able to save a little bit of money on the back end by not having to pay these players, the bigger contracts because they are people that have been around the league and just been around Call of Duty for a while, then that's what they're gonna do. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but that's kind of like my theory around a lot of these teams, especially just as we get into year 5 of this Call of Duty league. And, a lot of these organizations I feel like are, they're kind of struggling when it comes to just the money portion of it. Not to say that they should have made all their money back by now. That's not why they got into it, but just wondering based on, you know, year over year not seeing the results, paying these players that you think that you're going to at least get some results out of, maybe win a champ or maybe win a major or place well in a major, and you're still not seeing those results. Just wondering if maybe they're looking at going a different route, and maybe you start seeing overall, unless you're a top 5 player, 10 player in the league, maybe we won't be seeing these huge contracts. Also, I do want to state that just because all these teams are dropping their players and not extending their contracts doesn't mean that they still can't be picked up by their team. Maybe it is just a restructure moving forward. Get them off of this kind of expensive deal if that's what it is, or maybe they just go try to get other players before they say, "Hey, let's bring you back." So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, we posted the video about Hook and Ghosty being dropped earlier, so go check that one out. It's a pretty short video, but let me know what you think about this tinfoil hat theory, especially with these lower teams. Oh, I do want to say it's not to say that these teams shouldn't blow it up. I'm not speaking to that. I think if you're just a casual fan, obviously you would probably think, yeah, this Florida Mutineers team sucks. You may as well go scrap it for a whole different roster. Minnesota Rocker never found success, so go ahead and scrap the whole team. That's just not how you build a culture. It's not how you build, a team. I think when you drop all your players like this, you're kind of putting a sentiment out there that's like, if you're a guy that's proven in the league, why would you ever want to go to these teams if you don't have culture and you don't have anything built up ready for you when you come in? So I do think that has a lot to do with it, but yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you again soon.